Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to episode 180 of the Steve and Crypto Show, of course presented by thestevestrout.com. I am Steve. I am knocking out this introduction solo, so we're going to keep it short and sweet. First of all, before we get into things, got to run through our ways to support the show. Of course, you can share, like, follow, do all the social media stuff to spread the word about the Steve and Crypto Show. That's always good. Join the Facebook group. Just search Steve and Crypto Show and join the group. A bunch of people in there posting nerdy stuff, horror stuff, projects you're working on. You know, if you're a creator doing something cool, go in there and post. And of course, we post the hell out of this podcast. It's a good place to keep up on what's going on with us and like-minded folks. There's that. There's always merch. Get some Steve and Crypto Show merch. Head over to Etsy and search the Steve and Crypto Show. We have a bunch of stuff on there. T-shirts, mugs, tote bags, hoodies, coasters, all kinds of cool stuff over there that will let you proudly support and promote your third favorite podcast. Go check it out. Holiday season's coming. It's a perfect time to get your friend hooked on this show. And we'll have some new merch available at conventions, which is what we're hyping in this episode. We're doing the Grit City Comic Show this very weekend, November 15th in Tacoma, Washington. Don't know why I hesitated for a moment, but yeah, we'll get a little more into that in a minute. But I'll be bringing more merch there. We have this awesome print done by Chad Shares. He kind of made Steve and Crypto as like a Garbage Pail Kid style character. And it's pretty cool. Come check that out. I have t-shirts. I have another coaster design of my old. If you followed me for years, I had an old fun image I used to use of my Luchador Killer character, and I made these cool coasters of that. So come grab one. I'll have them at the Grit City Comic Show and any conventions in the future until they're sold out. Best way to support us is to become a patron over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to everything. Yes, we should post more over there, and we will start posting more over there. I still owe you guys a recap with Willie, our part-timer here on the show. He went out to Halloween Expo because, of course, I had to miss it because of an illness in the family. But Willie came through and did some cool stuff and promoted the heck out of the show, and he's part of the show. He's an honorary member. Good dude. But, like, Patreon. Let me get back to that. Patreon.com/SteveCrypto. Go there. Little as $1 a month. Get all the access. We basically talk about stuff that's not part of this main show. We'll talk about other interests in our life. So we kind of let you in more of our life because patrons are our people. You guys are our friends. So we want you to see what we're up to, what we're doing. With that being said, I mentioned this episode. I'm going to be talking about Grit City Comic Show and getting to meet one of the guests of honor at the show, Mr. Dave Warren. He is an animator, super talented guy. He's worked on The Simpsons, Pinky and the Brain. He worked on the Simpsons movie, the Dilbert cartoon. Just a bunch of really notable things. He's an award-winning animator, like I said. great dude, and we found out a lot about him. Kind of get his story. I wanted to know more about him. I found out that he's from my neck of the woods, which is cool. So we had a fun little talk about that stuff too, and how we're built different in the Northeast. But yeah, we talked with Dave to hype up this show. It's going to be a good convention. Before we get into that, just got to remind you guys to go back to last week's episode. It was our Halloween episode. I don't know why I said last week, but the last episode, we're celebrating Halloween with Dr. Chud, drummer of the Michael Graves era of the Misfits. They put out some great freaking albums, some great music, and it was so cool talking to that guy. He was hilarious. If you guys listen, you know, it was a trip. We were kind of all over the place in that conversation, and I had a good time. But until the end of this month, you keep sharing that episode. Share this one too, but share it. Make sure you tag me, the Steve Strout, on social media so I see that you shared it. And I'm going to enter you into a drawing because Dr. Chud sent me some music and swag from his new band, the Karens. So enter, win some cool stuff from a punk rock legend, and let's do it. Let's get right into this chat with Dave Warren, and we'll get back, run through some of the other cool guests at Grit City, and wrap up this episode. We'll keep it short and sweet because we're getting ready for the convention. So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Pinna Palmer, aka Sarah Palmer, aka Gwen Gooley, and I am on the Steve and Crypto Show. Tune in very soon, or now, I don't care.
All right, Steve and Crypto listeners, we are getting hyped up for one of our favorite yearly conventions, the Grit City Comic Show. It's like a home convention to us, so we always like to hype it up a bit, and this time we are going to chat with one of the convention guests. We have award-winning animator from The Simpsons, like the longest running freaking television show in history or something. I think it's up there, right? It's the longest running somewhere. But yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're all getting up there now, but yeah, I think it's the longest running animated series.
It's definitely
and
animated.
It may be the longest running animated.
Right.
Yeah, and it may be the longest running series. Something like Gunsmoke or something had that record, but I don't know if that still exists. You know, The Simpsons are like.
We have the one and only Dave Warren, great animator. Like I said, from The Simpsons, he's here to chat with us and tell us his story. So,
great to have you here.
What do you say
Good
we just
jump here?
Let's just jump right in and let's hear the story. How did you get into art? What inspired you to start making art?
Oh, you want to hear the spiel? Let's see if we can give you the quick, easy
the
version
abbreviated.
of it.
The abbreviated, yeah.
Well, I did just to try and make a long, twisted story easy to digest. I didn't go to Cal Arts. I wasn't. I didn't go the typical route to get into animation. I started out. I always did art. I was kind of the artist in my school. You know, I was the guy that kind of drew all the like hot rods and the babes and drew on your notebooks and forged passes and did all that kind of stuff. And so I think at an early age, I got attention for that talent. And so I just always kept doing it because if someone pays attention to you for something, feels good, right? So I ended up in California. I was born and raised in Connecticut. When I was 21 years old, I came to California with a band. The band lasted about 6 months, and everybody kind of made their way back to the East Coast, and I stayed, and I did a whole bunch of odd jobs along the way, and then I ended up working in like the surf and skate industry, doing T-shirt designs and skate decks and things like that for Stussy and Santa Monica Airlines and a lot of the skate companies, snowboarding was just starting back then. So Balzac, I used to do a lot of their board designs, and I was really immersed in that culture. I still am. And so from that, I ended up going through a series of different jobs. I was a magazine cartoonist for a while. I did cartoons for adult magazines. I was a hustler cartoonist. So I was, at one point in my life, I was trying to be the world's youngest syndicated cartoonist. And I was able to get into a couple of newspapers with a strip that syndicated features had called The New Breed. And, but it paid, I think I got paid, I was in, I want to say 75 newspapers across the United States. And I was thrilled. I mean, I was on this page with literally right next to Gary Larson. It was a single panel comic strip. And I was thrilled. And it was like in 75 papers across the country. And I think I got paid $50 for it. The money was not there. And that was the only time I got in that New Breed thing half a dozen times, but nothing really beyond that. And then I ended up, I was working for a screen printer, and the Gulf War had broken out, and I did this cartoon that I just drew to pass around the office of Saddam Hussein, and there was this Bud Light commercial back in the day where the guy would say, "Oh, I wanted a Bud Light," and so I did this cartoon of Saddam Hussein and these two Iraqi soldiers with Scud missiles. And Saddam Hussein is standing there, and they've got a 6-pack of beer, and he's saying, "No, I said I wanted a Scud Light." So I just did this as a doodle, and it got passed around the office, and this gal that was a salesperson from the office came to me and said, "Larry loves that cartoon, and he wants to buy it." And I went, "Oh, well, cool. Who's Larry?" And she went, "Larry Flint." And I went, "Larry Flint, Hustler magazine?" And she went, "Yeah." And I went, "What has he got to do with this?" And I said, "I thought you worked for RIP, which was like a music magazine back then." And she said, "Oh yeah, he owns RIP, he owns Bridal Fair, he owns like he publishes like 300 magazines. Hustler's just his most famous." She said, "But he wants it for Hustler, and he'll pay you $300 for it." And I went, "Okay." So that started my career doing cartoons for men's magazines, and I was playing in a band in Orange County, and doing that, and starting a family, and doing my cartoons. And I hired a guy. I was working for this company in Compton doing headwear, caps, and things like that. And this guy came out of, he was publishing adult magazines, and he came looking for a job with us. And I couldn't believe this guy showed up, for this interview at this art company with this portfolio full of all this adult stuff. And he was from South Africa, and he was a real character. And I ended up hiring him because I was like, I get this guy. Like, I did this, like, okay. And anyway, he came from the animation industry. And all Gavin would do was say, "Oh, animation, it sucks, man. They work you like 60 hours a week, and oh, it's terrible." And all he talked about was how bad it was. And literally all I heard was, "Wow, that sounds like a great job." And so at 32 years old, I went to school in Hollywood. The animation union used to teach classes at night at the Union Building in North Hollywood, and so I went and took classes for a year, and studied under some of the great old timers in this creepy old rundown building in North Hollywood. But learned how to animate and got a portfolio together, and was still at that company. And another guy that had worked there had left like 3 months before. And I got a call one day from this woman, and she said, "We're calling to get a job reference for this guy, Ben." And I'm like, "Yeah, Ben's fantastic, great artist. I love Ben." I said, "If you don't mind me asking, what's Ben going to do at HBO?" And she said, "Oh, well, we're starting up an animation division." And I went, "Really?" I went, "Well, I don't want to take Ben's job, but man, I would. I just finished animation school. I would love to talk to you guys." So they hired Ben, and they hired me. We both got the job, and so that was how I got started in animation. It was just kind of this weird, you know, set, I don't know, set of circumstances. But I've always been focused on art and being creative, and I always had big dreams. So it just felt like the right thing to do. And so, yes, so I started out at HBO Animation um, on a Ralph Bakshi show called Spicy City. And it was just a blast to work on. And Ralph Bakshi was one of my childhood inspirations. And so it was a huge thrill. And unfortunately, HBO and Bakshi didn't really see eye to eye. And they canceled the show after one short series. And it, I forget how many episodes we did. I think 6 or 9 or something, and they canceled it. And it was doing really well. It was really well done, and like I said, a blast. But it was over, and so from there. I had only been working in the business for just a very short period of time, and here I was, well, finding myself without a job. And was how it happened was it was my birthday, and I got a call to go up to the producer's office, and I thought they were calling me up there to wish me a happy birthday. They were calling me up there to lay me off, and I like went, "Oh man, I thought you guys were going to like sing me happy birthday." I didn't realize I was getting the axe. And John Kafka, who I'm still good friends with to this day, and Catherine Winder was the producer, and Kafka was the director. I think they felt kind of bad, and they said, "Well, we've got some friends over at Warner Brothers. Would you be interested in going over there?" And so they talked to some people, and I ended up going to work on Pinky and the Brain, and which was like a dream come true, because at that time Steven Spielberg was, he was the man, and so to work for him was like just an incredible honor. And it was also, I went from this little boutique studio at HBO where there was about 35 people. Shout out to Joe Vo, by the way, who started out at HBO with me, who's now a director on Family Guy. And so I'm still friends with most of those people from HBO from all those years ago. And so I left that little studio, 35 people, and went over to Warner Brothers, where there were floors and floors and floors of animation going on. And I mean, on our floor, on one side was Batman, and on our side was Pinky and the Brain. And then you had another floor that was Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, and I forget what else. But I mean, there was a lot going on there, and hundreds of animators. So it was like, wow, you're in the business now, and it was incredibly intimidating. But it was also really inspiring, because you were just around, Norm McCabe was still there at that time, and he really wasn't doing any actual work. They kept an office for him, which I always thought was just a beautiful thing that Warner Brothers did. But I would, go sit there with Norm, and he'd tell me tales of the old days and give me little tips on certain things, and Liz Holzman, and just that whole group was just really pretty special. So that was kind of how I got started, and throughout my career, I've been blessed. I've worked on Pinky the Brain, Animaniacs, the Animaniacs movie, I went into development for a while, thanks to this beautiful soul by the name of Joey Franks. And we started developing shows for what was going to be called the WB, which was a brand new network that Warner's was launching then. So I got to develop shows, which was really fun. None of them ever got made, but they got as far as focus testing. So it was fun to get into that. And to this day, I still love to develop properties. I think that's one of my favorite things to do in this business. But anyways, try to make a long story short. Went from Warner Brothers, went to Sony, worked on Dilbert, Men in Black, a couple of little projects over there, but mostly Dilbert. Stepped out of the business for a little bit, was going to open a restaurant, and went to culinary school. And a buddy of mine called me and said, they're looking for artists on The Simpsons. Would you be interested? And I said, yes, I would. And so dropped out of culinary school and went back into the trenches and started working on The Simpsons. And that sort of changed the trajectory of my life, because from that I got to do the Simpsons movie, and then from that I got to become the creative director on the show and got to do a lot of fun stuff like develop the rides for Universal and open up stores in China and just all kinds of I got to see the world because of the Simpsons, Korea many times. And then that opened the door to, as a creative director at Fox, I ended up becoming the creative director for Sons of Anarchy. I championed that show as a creative director early on, and was the CD on that show for the first 5 seasons. And at that time, FX was just starting. So I ended up doing a lot of the FX shows. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Wilfred. I did a little bit of stuff for American Horror Story. I touched almost everything at FX at one point. So it was great. It was just been an amazing ride, and it continues to. I'm at this point now in my career where I've kind of moved into my retirement. I moved to the Pacific Northwest. I'm living in Oregon, and started doing Comic Cons. I literally decided I wanted to try to do something to stay creative, and it's hard when you step away from LA, where it's your base, and you go out to the middle of no place and try to figure out what that looks like for a creative or an artist. And so I have a friend, Keith Tucker, who he and I worked at Warner Brothers together, and he's been doing these Comic Cons for years.
Yeah,
and
Keith's
so I reached out to him. Yeah, I love Keith. Oh. And so I reached out to him and said, "Hey, man, what's the deal? Tell me about what life is like doing Comic Cons." And so he, he's been doing it for a while. He seems to enjoy doing it. So I went, you know what? I think this might be something that I would enjoy doing. So I'm making my first rotation around the sun, I guess. I started doing them a little over a year ago, and so HorrorCon and Halloween Expo that I just did in the last month, both were my second time doing those events. So I officially, kind of hit most of them in the last year. And during that time, which is a perfect segue to get to the Grit City, because during that time I kept hearing people, and by the way, shout out to Washington. I love you freaking people. Honestly, I don't know what it is with the state of Washington. I don't know if it's you have more precipitation in Oregon. I haven't quite figured it out, but good people, good crowds. I love it. I'm kind of like Washington's feeling like a home away from home for me right now. But so, anyways, everybody kept saying, "Hey, man, have you ever heard of Grit City? You should do Grit City," And I kept hearing that, and then people say, "Well, it's a 1 day show," and I try not to do 1 day shows, to be honest, because they're hard when you travel a lot. And my setup is a little more extensive than most, so it's a lot to set up in the morning, do your show, tear down in the afternoon, and then you got to drive 7 hours or something, right? So I tend to not do those, but everybody kept saying, and when I say everybody, I'm talking vendors, I'm talking other promoters, I'm talking fans, friends, kept saying, Grit City's a good show, man. Grit City's a good show. You would like Grit City. So here I am, man, coming to Grit City.
Yeah,
well, you're right.
And I think
it is a great show. You're right. Yeah, and it's very back to basics and back to what conventions used to really be focused on, which is comics and artists and that sort of thing.
That's awesome, because that's I think that there's a need for that right now. We're in this is my humble opinion from somebody just new to this whole game. It's so celebrity autograph driven now, Comic-Cons, that the artist alley is almost like kind of an afterthought. And
I agree.
So it's refreshing to hear that that's the vibe, in Grit City. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's just all about the creators rather than the like you say, the celebrities and stuff. It's a really good show. I'm glad to finally get him to reach out to you and bring you out. I think you're gonna dig the show.
Yeah.
It's a guy who runs
Now,
James.
Are you guys?
Pardon?
Are you guys? I'm sorry. I mean, are you based in Tacoma? I thought you were in Spokane. I'm just getting to know the geography.
No, I am in Port Townsend area.
I'm in Port Orchard. So
close to Bremerton.
Port Orchard, yeah, Port Orchard's close to Bremerton, roughly like a half hour away from Tacoma, actually.
Gotcha. Okay.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
About an hour and 20 maybe from Tacoma. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too far.
Y'all got
but
LA style traffic there, though. I'll tell you what.
There's traffic's definitely not like LA, that's for sure. It's I went down there.
I've had a couple of brutal drives from Seattle heading south where I went, oh my, this is crazy.
Depending on the time of day, yeah.
It can get crazy, but I think I took my first trip to Southern California last year and was near LA, and it was the first time being scared in a vehicle with those drivers. Like, yeah, it's wild. It's wild compared to
yeah. So, there's a definite level of aggression in driving in LA for sure.
It's aggressive, and the streets are like bad. So it's just like one slight mishap from a 80 car pileup or something. Everybody's just never been gone so fast and been so close to another car. And it's like, holy shit. It's like NASCAR or something. Yeah. It's wild. It is wild. But so what kind? I know when you do the conventions, you bring prints and art, and you have little paintings like of course the one that I got from you at Crypticon, the Homer Frankenstein.
Awesome! It's funny. I just pulled out some blank canvases today. I haven't done canvases in a bit,
right.
And I had somebody at the last show ask me about doing them, and I went, I haven't done them in a while. And then you pulled that out, so I might start doing some of those again.
There you go.
They're fun.
but I noticed you tend to do like whenever you do a show, you do like a special piece for the show. Are you doing anything like that for Grit City?
I'm actually not.
No.
So the I was doing like a print for each event that I was going to.
Right.
Um, but what I found is that after a year now, I have what I call like the "I'm not dead yet" bin of leftover prints from
Right.
all those shows.
Right. Right.
So, but again, I just got beat up at HorrorCon because I had a couple of people that said I came here just to get this year's print from you because I got last year's, and I went, I didn't. So, Steve, I'm a work in progress, and I go, this is all good feedback
Right.
because you brought up the canvases, you brought up the print, and I might just bring them back, just do lesser quantities. It's hard because I don't
Right.
print myself with a home printer. I actually use a printer. I do a pretty high quality print,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I can't just do small runs. I have to do a quantity. So it's an
Yeah.
investment on my part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you come to the booth, I'll draw something Grit City special for you.
There you
We'll give you
go.
a one of a
Yeah.
kind print.
I saw your
Yeah.
drawing of Dana De Lorenzo and how thrilled she was to get that from you.
Oh, dude, she was amazing. She was just a blast. And every once in a while you meet people, when you do these shows, and you kind of just have that moment where you click. And her and I have a very similar kind of East Coast personality.
Yeah.
So she just got right into it and played along. I don't know if you saw that stuff with, like, we did a um, custom Funko Pop for her, and so she got crazy over that as well. Yeah, but yeah, she was a blast. I've had a couple of really fun moments this year with the Funkos. Uh, Michaela Hoover from Superman, Cat Grant was another standout. Um, they're fun to do because it's giving that person something unexpected and something unique, and it's really hard to cut above the noise. When you're dealing with people that are used to getting a lot of things, a lot of people coming up to them and, oh, I did this or I did that, or my kid drew this for you or something. So um, that's one of the advantages of being somebody that, I can use that kind of Simpsons name, backing, right? And it allows me, sometimes get a little better access, I guess. And but that doesn't always guarantee you're going to have a good interaction with the person. I've had a couple that didn't go so well. But Dana was outstanding. Dana was outstanding, and Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl.
He's
Um,
always great.
Yep.
I did, yeah, and I did a print of her last year for Crypticon, which still sells,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
She's always really good with fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Dana at Crypticon a few years ago, and she was really cool. I was hoping to see her this year at Halloween Expo, but we had some stuff come up. We were supposed to be there, but we had stuff come up and had to cancel like the day before setup because somebody got family
I
member
heard
got
that. I don't.
hospitalized, and yeah,
Is everything okay?
everything is a lot better. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
everything's getting back to normal, and I'm ready to. This is our first convention back too, so we'll be excited. We're gonna have some fun at Grit City for sure, which is
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
15th. I should mention that.
that's less than a week away, gentlemen. Less than
That
a week.
is that is
Yeah.
this coming Saturday. Um, you you mentioned Connecticut. Where'd you grow up in Connecticut? I grew up there too.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm from.
so
I'm from.
I was. If
I
you tell
lost you
me
there for a sec.
Woket, I'm gonna. Go ahead. Where are you from?
I am from New London.
Oh, okay. I know. I
Yep.
grew up in Woolkit. I don't know if you know where that is. Just outside of Waterbury.
Outside of, yeah, right by Waterbury. Yep. I had family that lived in Waterbury. I spent some time there. Waterbury and New Haven a lot too.
Yeah,
Lots
yeah.
of
I was born
summers.
in Waterbury Hospital, and dude. So let's talk pizza. That's what we got to talk about. You're
Oh,
from Connecticut, the best pizza in the world, and I will fight you on that. So
yeah.
this is oh my goodness. My family doesn't do it anymore because everybody's kind of gotten old and gone their separate ways. But when I was a kid, every Friday night it was go to Pepe's for pizza, and Pepe's is, it's like it's I think the longest burning wood fired oven in the United States. Like every sitting president, almost everyone has like dined at Pepe's, and it's not a fancy place. It's formica tables, grumpy waitresses, and this amazing pizza that just blows your mind. But we would go and wait for 2 hours in the cold, stand out in the snow. The women and the moms and the grandmas would wait in a heated car, and the men would stand out in the snow, waiting in line just to go in and get a pizza on Friday nights.
That's
That's
what's
how
up.
dedicated we were to our pizzas.
That's
So,
that's what's up.
That's saying something.
That's the thing about
oh,
Connecticut. We had such a diverse uh community. We still had all those old neighborhoods where like that Italian family freaking deli was there for for multiple generations, or we had like the Jewish delis, and we had all that, and that food and everything. It just had so much history and just good shit, man. It's
I
like you
miss
can't
that.
even explain. I miss that for sure.
Yeah, well, you
We
just mentioned like we called it a grinder, right? It
grinders,
wasn't a
yeah.
sub. It was
It was a grinder.
yeah.
Yep, we
We
had
would go to
grinders.
the Italian deli and get a grinder. It would be on that fresh Italian bread, and it's got that thick,
Mm-hmm.
crispy crust.
Little
And
crust,
they'd
little
put all this
crusty
Italian
bread.
cheese all over it.
Mm,
Oh, dude, come on now! I haven't even
man.
eaten dinner yet. You're killing me.
Right, yeah, I know.
You,
I'm about to go put a friggin' frozen pizza in the oven after this. Like, got me thinking about some. Oh man,
I know this is
Hey,
not Connecticut, but since you're in Oregon, I'll mention. I don't know what part you're in, but I have family on the Oregon coast, and we used to go to a place called Grinders, and I believe it was in like maybe North Bend, Coos Bay area. Tiny little hole in the
really?
wall place. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they're still there. They probably are.
was it some transplants from the Northeast?
I could be. I'm not entirely sure, but I know the place is called Grinders, and they're damn good. Yeah, I mean, it's messy, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
flavor.
not it's not the same, man. There's just something about just it's
Yeah.
like the water and the
I,
air and all the things come together to make perfect food. I mean,
yeah.
look at me. That's
For
how I look like this because of that fucking food in Connecticut.
I,
Yeah,
my,
man,
my
it's
mother
legit.
used to say. My mother used to go, David, David, how about, she was always trying to, find me a wife, right? David, how about Marie? How about Marie? You like Marie, right? And I go, Mom, no. She goes, oh, Marie David, she's got a nice figure. And I go, Mom, she's round. Zero's not a nice figure. And she go, oh, come on, David, come on. And I go, oh, Lord. And it's like, killed me. But you know what? I love the fact that I grew up in Connecticut because my sense of humor was developed there,
Yeah.
and I just think if and this is a shout out to somebody I don't even know. I just discovered this woman who paints windows. Her Instagram is Paint by Mish, and
I
she's
know.
in
I
Queens.
Yes, she's awesome. I
Dude,
love her. She's so good,
I
and
am
her personality is
I'm obsessed.
amazing.
She's everything I miss about every person from the East Coast.
It's
Like
home,
she
right? She
just
feels like
is
home. Yeah.
that's it. That's it. I literally went, you know what? I'm hopefully next year I'm gonna do the New York Comic Con, and I literally am going to reach out to her and see if I can do like a collab with her. It's like, let's go paint a window. We'll Simpsonize it, like, cause I don't know shit about painting windows, right? But it actually was something that I was gonna do when I went to Oregon, because I went, well, maybe I'll just like, start doing business windows, like do
Yeah.
something like that, until I realized it gets freezing cold. I was like, yeah, you take that into consideration.
Yep. Yep. Well, yeah. Shout out to her though. Her channel is awesome, and she does some just
Yeah,
amazing work, and just her energy with people, and she's just funny, and she's out there just being sweet and just busting people's balls and just having a good time. And it's yeah,
this
you
is
have to connect
this
with
is
her for sure.
yeah, and see, like I said, she is like the embodiment of an East Coast person to me, right? Of a New Yorker. And um and like I said, that was my roots and your roots. And this is where I learned, like, you just said something, a term I haven't heard in years, breaking balls, right? Everybody, oh, David, I'm just breaking your
Busting
balls, just
balls.
breaking
Yep.
your balls. Yep.
Yep.
And so we grew up. Sorry, I got a bug here. We grew up like you would make fun of each other, your friends. That's what you
Yeah.
did. Like, and it was the funnier you were, the better it was. And it was like, so when I see her, I see that, right? And
Yeah.
I one of the things, like, so talk about cons, right? I go, when I first started to do these cons, I didn't know like what was expected. I didn't know, like, because I had the last few years that I was doing Comic Cons, I was going to San Diego as a representative for Fox. So I'm going to panels, I'm going to screenings, I'm going to, parties. I wasn't walking around the floor looking at people's booths unless there was a reason for me to be there. So I really didn't know what to expect. And I got to these shows and I went, wow, man, everybody just kind of sits there on their phone like this, and people walking by and they just, and I go, well, who's going to buy shit from you? You sit there like you're bored. And so again, my East Coast mentality, um, I came to California with a band that was an opening act for Twisted Sister. So I was like in the
Nice.
Twisted
I
Sister
love it.
camp
Yep.
back in the day, right? So I was, we cut our teeth on when you you played in a band, you had to put on a show. You were there to entertain. Like, you had to be a good musician, but you're also there to put on a show. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to just listen to your music, I could get the cassette. So when you see somebody live, you're there to be entertained, right? And so when we first came to California, it was kind of the same thing. We would see these bands in LA and go, wow, they had all this money and all this equipment, and all the like pretty leather clothes and shit. And, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gear, 19, 20-year-old kids, right? And we would just laugh. Like, I literally had a Marshall amp and a distortion pedal. That was it, and a crybaby wah wah. I think that I barely used, but like, we would just plug in and be loud, and but we entertained, you know.
Yeah.
So when I started doing these cons, I went, I don't know, man. This is just like, I'm I want to do more than just sit behind my booth, and say, "Hey, buy my stuff." So I just started really having fun with people. So I spend as much time in front of my booth as I do behind it, because I'm out messing around with people, taking pictures, doing something. But I'm a firm believer that somebody's paid their hard money to come to, whether it's Grit City or any other show. Like, I owe them a debt of gratitude. they're there. They paid their hard-earned money to come see people like me. I got to give it to them. That's just in my DNA. That's my East Coast like DNA. So
Exactly.
I have fun at shows. I have fun, man. I literally do. I've got a bicycle horn, man. I give people the crusty curse. We just goof around and have a good time. But it's it's changed me because I didn't think about that when I first started doing these things, and I also didn't think about how many like young people, and not just young people, all ages, um, come to these shows, and a lot of people that are on the spectrum or special needs, and Comic Cons are like a sanctuary. I call it the land of the misfit toys, and it's like where all the nerds can all come together and kumbaya, and and I realized I'm one of them. Like I am them. Like we're no different. And but they're coming to me and they're looking up to me. And I'm a nobody. And they're looking up to me for some sort of inspiration or some sort of advice or just to connect because they grew up watching the show. And they touch me, man. Like it's like there's inevitably one kid or one adult at every con I do where I leave and I go, that kid got to me, where like, I've had things where, a mom's come up to me afterwards and said, that's the most he's spoken in 9 months. He doesn't really talk. He's nonverbal. And he just opened up with you. And, I don't even know how I got to be so blessed, to be honest with you, but that is the coolest shit about doing these cons. It's the people, man. It's like that's why I like to go. I'm really looking forward to Grit City because first of all, I thought that Puyallup, am I saying that correctly?
Puyallup, close enough.
Puyallup is
Puyallup, yeah. I don't know how to say it right either. I don't know.
Puyallup, that's what I've always heard.
Yeah.
I was pulling up. I had all kinds of and I was all over the place with it. But this is how scattered I am. I literally thought that HorrorCon was in Tacoma, and somebody said, "No, dude, this is Puyallup," and I went, "No, no, no, this is Tacoma." They're like, "No, it's not." So uh, it. I'm going to be actually in Tacoma this time, but I've gotten people now from Spokane. I did a tattoo convention. I want to say it was Bremerton, but it's another
Bremerton,
B word. I always.
It was Bremerton.
Is it Bremerton?
Yep.
Man, I like that town too. That was a nice place.
Yeah, I was born there. It is nice.
Oh man, I tell you what, it just had a great vibe. Just a great vibe. Like I said, Washington just, I don't know. It's a really nice place. I'm the more time that I get to spend here, the more I really realize it's just a nice place. The people are nice. It's beautiful. I could do without all the rain, but I'm sure that everybody, feels the same way, right? But it's all that rain that makes it so beautiful.
But I will take this rain over the hot ass humid summers and the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't mind this. Like I lived in Bend for a minute and I didn't mind the snow there. But I think it's because it's so dry there that the snow is really powdery and it's pretty. It wasn't wet like that, Connecticut snow, like ways of sun. So I didn't mind that so much. I don't know, I roll with it.
Pretty much.
I'm inside a convention center every 2 weeks now, so I don't really see outside.
So before we run, what kind of stuff do you bring to your booth to sell and share?
Well, we ran out of fentanyl, so we won't have any at this show. We have
I'm sure there'll be plenty in Tacoma, I'm sure.
Yeah. They'll take care of that before they arrive.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I've got a bunch of prints, and we have I do a lot of really cool parody prints now. So like I do a lot of mashups, Pinky Floyd, like a Pink Floyd parody and stuff. So I've got prints. I bring original sketch cards with me. I don't have, this is not a great example because it's really bad, but I do original pencils on sketch cards. I bring those with me. I'm also doing a lot of Funko markups these days. So I'll have a fresh batch of Funkos with me. And what else? If you want to get turned into a Simpsons character, I'm booking commissions for that. Going into the holidays, I think I've got about 10 slots available. So I'll be slinging that while I'm in Grit City. I got stickers, I got buttons, I got T-shirts, I got a little bit of everything. Even got hot sauce, dude. Best hot sauce you'll get at any convention,
hot sauce
anywhere.
So you could get Simpsonized and get some hot sauce. What else do you need?
Guatemalan and pepper. What more is there to life? Except for fentanyl, which I'm out of. But apparently that's okay because it's readily available in the Pacific Northwest.
It's abundant. That's your thing. I'd recommend sticking to the hot sauce. It's a little better.
Yeah, there you go. I actually had somebody in Portland say something to me because I was staying in downtown Portland, and I went, yeah, I'm just not used to that. And I didn't know it was even a term, the fentanyl fold, right? Like I was out in the morning with my dog. There's these people that were just bent in half in the middle of the road and stuff,
Yeah,
and I was telling this. Yeah, it's like, it's a trip, look, I'm from LA, man. And that shit was brand new to me. And so I was telling it to somebody from Portland, and they went, oh yeah, the fentanyl fold. And I went, is that what you call it? And they're like, yeah. And I went, that's crazy. And she said, well, she goes, I'll take the fentanyl fold over the meth heads any day. And I went, really? Why? And she goes, the meth heads will throw a rock at your car. These people are just lethargic. They don't bother anybody. And I went, oh yeah, I guess you gotta choose your bad drug to have in town. One that makes people lethargic is probably better than one that makes them scream at you, throw rocks, right? So
that's a good way to look at it.
And on that note, come on down to Grit City, kids.
I was gonna say, you'll find both of them where you're going.
On that note, come to Tacoma on the 15th of November.
Now, wait a minute. I have to say that I literally, because I was looking to put together stuff for promo reels, right? And I went, I got to find some reference images of Tacoma, something I can use. So I started just looking at photos and the downtown area and stuff. I found some beautiful images. I was like, I don't know, man. It looked pretty good to me. So
a lot of really nice architecture and stuff down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's the bridge? There was a lot of shots of going down through this little downtown patch, and you could see the bridge on the other side. It was beautiful, man. So I don't know where the convention center is, but I'm hoping to get down there and explore that a little bit.
It is right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of downtown. It's a nice little downtown. It's pretty cool. I dig it.
Well, we'll have to go out on Saturday night after the show and celebrate, and you can show me where all the really cool, fun stuff is in Tacoma.
We'll stay away from the fentanyl, though. No fentanyl.
Yeah, stay away from the fentanyl, kids. We're just joking. It's comedy. That's all it is. We don't,
Put a little hot sauce on it, maybe.
Just busting balls on the Steve and Crypto show. That's it.
That's it. Hey, I'll quote Hunter S. Thompson, one of my spirit animals, on this. It's Hunter S. Thompson once said, "I hate to advocate the use of alcohol or drugs to anyone, but it's always worked for me." So there it is.
There it
I'll
is.
be I'll be at Tacoma on the 15th, kids.
Before we jump off, let people know where to find you on social media so they could keep up on your appearances and stuff.
Well, when I'm not doing time, I'm at the LA Men's County Jail during the week, and on the weekends you can find me on Instagram at I am Dave Warren, and where else can you find me? I'm El Arto on TikTok, and I don't do X. And my Facebook, you can just try and find me, man. My Facebook's kind of like friends and family. So Instagram's kind of where I do my thing, man. I'm kind of weeding off of TikTok too. Everything's become very strange these days. So I don't know where to be on
understatement.
yeah.
So yeah. I think Instagram is the best place for artists anyways, because it is more, visual. It's for posting photos of stuff and art and things. So Instagram is the place to be, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it like Facebook is kind of friends and family, and Instagram's business, right?
Pretty much. Well, I think with that being said, everybody come hang out 15th this Saturday, Tacoma Convention Center. Dave Warren's going to be there with all his stuff. Come and ask him questions, say hi, take some pictures, get Simpsonized.
Now, will you sign their fentanyl bottles?
No, I'll sign anything. $5.
Cool. Well, Dave, thank you for hanging out, man. It was good chatting with you.
I signed a ranch dressing cup in Spokane a couple of weeks back, so I'm not lying.
Okay, there you go. Also healthier than fentanyl.
There you go.
All right, man.
That's debatable.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much. Great chatting with you.
Thank you. Same. And we'll see you next Saturday. Grit City.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Ace Vaughn Johnson from LA Guns, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
All right. We are back. Dave, thanks for hanging out. Look forward to seeing you this weekend. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. But Dave Warren is not the only guest at Grit City Comic Show this year. There are a ton of other comic creators. Peter Baggy, Stefano Gaudiano, who worked on like Spider-Man and what else has he done? The freaking Walking Dead. A bunch of cool comics. Rick Hoberg, the legendary comic book creator. Melanie Cohn, who is a voice actress, did the voice of Lucy on the Peanuts specials through the 70s. Robin Hobb is an award-winning fantasy author. Dev Madden, Sean Dietrich, Shane Patrick White, who does great posters for the Grit City Comic Show. And, of course, the one and only Greg Smith, one of our best buds. Funny-ass dude, great dude. He will be there. It's always good to see him. Yeah, love that guy. Good dude. But yeah, there's just so many great creators and stuff at this show this year. With all that being said, the Grit City Comic Show, it's in Tacoma, Washington at the Tacoma Convention Center on November 15th, which if you're listening, it's this weekend. So come. I'll be there representing Steve and Crypto. I have a bunch of merch. I even have some movies that I've been in. Got the Stoner Snakes 1 and 2 and a bunch of other stuff. Some of the merch I mentioned earlier. Come check it out. Come get some merch. Support the show. Look cool, man. I got t-shirts. Look cool wearing a t-shirt. Yeah, yeah, that's about it, man. We love this show. It's kind of, we're regulars there. We love promoting it. We love being there. It just feels like home to us. So come to our home and hang out and let's have a good time. Enjoy this convention. It's not a horror convention, but there's always people there with some cool horror stuff. And the best part about it, it is a true comic book convention. There's comic books, lots of dealers, there's lots of creators, it's a comic show. It's one of the last few comic shows. Everything's kind of leaned towards pop culture stuff and autograph shows and everything, but no, this is a real life comic book show with some horror podcasters hanging out. Yeah, it's a good show. We love it. It's home, like I said. So, hope to see you guys there. And that being said, once we get through this convention, gonna take a short break on this show here and regroup and rest our brains, and then we'll rein it back in and get back to work for you guys, because we do this for you guys. We love entertaining you guys. Hopefully you think we're entertaining. I think we are, but it's your decision to make. But we will be back. We are going to keep kicking ass, and we're going to keep having fun, because that's what it's all about. Having fun and promoting people creating the shit that we love. And yeah, we thank you guys for the years of support. Keep it going, keep it coming, keep getting the merch, wearing the merch. Support your third favorite podcast and look pretty freaking cool doing it. Go do the social media thing. Like, share, post about us, follow, freaking leave reviews and ratings for the episodes. All the episodes. Go back. Start at the beginning. Go back through them all. Reach out. Tell us some of the stuff you liked about the show over the last handful of years. Some of the stuff you didn't like. We like to work to make things as fun and entertaining as possible for you guys. But we're going to keep it going. We need to regroup here for a couple weeks, maybe a month, but we will be back better than ever. And we thank you guys. And we hope to see you this weekend at the Grit City Comic Show. Again, that's Tacoma, Washington, November 15th at the Convention Center. Beautiful building, wonderful show, lots of great people. Come see us, come meet some of our friends, and let's have a good weekend. We love you guys. See you next time.